Hi there, I'm the CRM Ninja, and on today's episode of the Oops Factor, see, she's already keyed, we have the lovely Kaila Bloomfield. Welcome to the show, Kaila.
Ah.
Now, I know, it's hilarious. Now, for people who don't know Kaila, she has lots of interests, and two of them are currently featured on the screen. One behind me, in terms of racing, and the other one behind her, in terms of unicorns.
This is the two like extremes of my personality, like in one image.
Imagine if we could get unicorns in a race car.
Isn't that Mario Kart, like version 2?
I never really played Mario Kart, I'm afraid. I know it's a point against me, but what can I say? Um, so how did you get into unicorns and racing?
Oh, racing. Basically, I was brought up a petrol head, completely and utterly. My dad is a huge motorsport fan in every single way.
Okay.
To the point he used to own the fastest, and to be honest, built the fastest motorbike, road legal motorbike in Europe. So we used to basically take that on a tour of the UK when I was about 13, which as he's got older, he thought was probably not the best idea to be doing with your 13-year-old daughter. But you know, it's probably why I own the car I do right now. But yeah, so that means Formula One is like a statement thing that we watch, as well as the superbikes.
Right.
And yeah, I like Red Bull. If anyone talks to me about Lewis Hamilton, you go down in a point. I'm a bad British person because I don't support the guy. Yeah, and then unicorns, other extreme of my personality. That was a more recent thing. Literally, everyone who's been to the Badger has met my giant unicorn called Pinky, which
Yes.
is, literally about this big. Don't really know why I like unicorns, except they're awesome. So why wouldn't you?
Unicorns are very awesome. And of
Yeah.
course, in terms of racing, have you ever been to the Isle of Man for the TT?
No, God, no. I want to. I do want to. Haven't been. I've been to Silverstone for the Formula One, British Formula One 3 times now, I think. That
Awesome.
literally became a yearly thing for me and my dad to go. We just hire a camper and just go for like the long weekend. So that's amazing. Apart from the one year I went and literally Sebastian Vettel took out my driver in front of me. I nearly cried. Literally nearly cried. So yeah.
It must have been very traumatic. I've taken motorbikes around Silverstone, and I did it the week before the MotoGP. And yeah, and sort of casually going in, and the race bikes don't have speedometers for people who don't know about race
Yeah.
motorbikes. And I know what I was doing, and then I know what my instructor was telling me he does. And then the following week, I watched the MotoGP go around exactly the same corners, and I was like, they're doing it like 3 times the speed that I was,
Yep.
and I was not going slowly.
Yeah, they are absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. I think, like, although I've not, because I want to drive a Formula One car around the track or a Formula Two, which
Okay.
you can do. I've not done it yet. It is one of my I probably want to try and kill myself that way in the next couple of years, on top of jumping out of an airplane and like paragliding and stuff. So
I can hook you up with skydiving people. I used to be a skydiver.
that's what I mean. It's going to happen at some point. I just try and limit myself on things that are going to possibly kill me once a year to just
Okay.
not push my luck too much.
Got it.
Just limiting.
Limiting once a year.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. Brilliant. Okay, so from limiting yourself to once a year, high adrenaline rushes, to what do you have to share with us for the oops factor?
Oh, so I've got some funny stories and some awkward stories. And they're all basically about the sort of me and in the industry of IT, which is very, very much not used to me.
So
Really?
that's just to clarify for those
Yeah.
people who haven't met Kaila. Kaila is tall, as we can see, is very blonde and is very female. And if we think about traditional IT, it's might be tall, but not normally very
Yeah.
blonde with that long hair, or very female.
Yeah. And I'm very quiet and an introvert and shy as well. They're
Really,
definitely,
I
yeah.
would never have guessed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go on.
Yeah. Well, the first one, and this is when I used to work at the Law Society, and I loved working there. They pretty much got me into the industry. So some of the guys, they were absolutely amazing.
Okay.
And they saw something in me, so I'm grateful for that. And very early on into my career, I joined there as, just to be honest, on the support desk out from uni.
Okay.
And I quickly was helping with an AX implementation that went really quite wrong, and ended up basically leading the support on it, because where I was a developer at uni, I wanted and could fix issues without involving the partner, which they'd fell out with for obvious reasons.
Right.
And I got invited to quite a senior meeting, because I was the one who knew what was going on with all these problems, and to be honest, the only person they were talking to and they could partially trust, who could give a little bit of a view on how bad things were to sort of the execs and stakeholders. So I was like, yeah, right, why not? I'm fine, it's cool. Walk into this room, and there's, God, what was about, I think there's about 8 guys there. And,
Okay.
Senior, they're quite high up, so they're not young guys. And I sort of look around the room, and my hair was long there, not as long as it is now, but it was long there. And I had one of those moments, and where you sort of, you think you're thinking it, but you say it. And that's exactly what I did. And what I was thinking was, I swear I have more hair on my head than all of you put together.
Hold on. But the thought didn't just stay in your head.
I said it. I literally said it out loud. And what's even better, to be fair, is someone heard it. So this guy, Andy, bless his heart, I love him. He was the head of architecture. Like, luckily for me, he didn't decide to enlighten the rest of the room on what I just said. But yeah, I just like walking into this room of quite senior guys. I pretty much called them all bald. So yeah, that was a great introduction there. Learning to not speak when you're thinking. That's a great, that whole filter. Yep. Lesson done. Or not.
I love the expression, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So, listen twice as much as you speak, or, put brain in gear before putting mouth in drive.
Yeah, it was just literally one of those moments that you just couldn't even make it up. You really couldn't even make it up.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's a really, really funny one, and because of the story and this thing, and it's all basically about, I suppose, being a bit girly in a not very girly industry. And the second one was when I was working at Partner now, instead of when I was custom site.
Right.
And there was this new project, and I was at the time on a project that's really quite tricky and difficult, and everyone loves an opportunity to try and sneak off projects like that, right, onto the better project that's new and exciting, and everyone wants to get on. So that's what I was doing.
I know exactly what you mean by that.
And this project was a fashion retailer, so in their offices you don't wear suits and things. You just wear more casual clothing. So I've been starting to wear more casual clothing.
Okay.
Summer, so some nice dresses, things like that. And if you wore anything too formal, they literally would turn around to you and say, "Oh, you're going to a board meeting." Like, it's very common there. And there's some of my colleagues came out once, literally like, "Oh my God, there was a girl there walking around what I can only describe as a nightie." Because the models used to walk around the office as well. And so absolutely,
models.
There was no holds barred. So,
I'd just like to point out, for models, a nightie might very well be business attire.
Well, exactly. You can't, you can't question that, right?
Yeah.
But so what happened, and I wasn't on this meeting, but it was about me, shall we say. There was a bit of a stakeholder meeting for the project, and I'd been working on the project because I'm a techie. I'd been in all of the integrations, data migration, all of the nasty conversations, which trips everyone up anyway because they think I'm the secretary walking in or something.
And quite obviously, you're not the secretary, which probably
yeah, no. Well, this is the thing. You just start getting used to it, right? And it's funny to see people's faces. Actually, it's great. I usually tell people not to correct them, and then in the middle of a conversation, I'll just absolutely destroy one of their techies. It's really entertaining. But yeah, anyway,
we have to get our laughter where we can.
On the exec meeting, someone decided to say, oh yeah, can we do this next one in the office so I'll get to see Kaila in a dress again?
Okay. Was that one of the customer? Was that one of the clients, or was okay?
Yeah, one of the customer execs. My director had to publicly scold him on that meeting. Like,
oh no,
really bad, because that's naughty. You know, there's banter and then there's naughty. They took me off the project. I was well gutted. Absolutely gutted.
Hold on. So the client was scolded publicly because, I mean, look, HR.
Well, in the meeting. So there was,
in the meeting.
Okay. People. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So then you're about it, and you were removed from the project.
Well, yeah, because as a company, the company were like, okay, they're acting inappropriately to this, female on our project. And to be fair, let's be honest, like I said, they wanted an excuse to take me off it anyway, because they wanted me back on the crap project. So I'm sure it didn't actually upset them to have a reason to do that. But yeah, I was well good. Yeah, and it was because he did that. So yeah, so I was like, oops, on his part. And the other one, and this is the one that I don't know, I did learn from it, and I think everyone can a little bit.
Okay.
And basically, I was the lead techie on a project. And there's a solution architect on the project. And we weren't the same culture, and I think it was a culture issue. I do think it was a culture issue. So I don't think he was going out of his way to not be a good, nice person or collaborative colleague. But we were having basically a disagreement on whether what the right or wrong solution was.
Okay.
I thought the solution he had was wrong, and he obviously didn't. And we were having, in an open planned office, basically, he'd come over to start having another bit of conversation about it. Because I think I'd just sent an email or something saying that these are the reasons why that's just not going to work. And he came over and was like, okay, start having a conversation. And I just said, look, this isn't going to work. You might want it to work. You might feel like this is a good thing to do. But literally one of the reasons it's not going to work is because it breaches Microsoft's own practices and recommendations. You shouldn't do it. And he literally said, in the middle of an open planned office, people surrounding us, he went, oh, fuck off, Kaila. And I was just like,
whoa.
Yeah. And that's naughty. And I think it was, he said it, like I said, I think it was cultural. I think for him, it wasn't a naughty thing to say or out of order. And I scolded him straight away, literally.
I'm not surprised at that one.
Yeah. Do not say that to me. Do not speak to me like that. Don't be disrespectful. If you don't agree with me, fair enough. But don't swear at me.
Yep.
And I think for me, that really taught me you have to basically really put yourself on the table sometimes, because I could have took that on my shoulder. I could have took massive offense to that. I could have, raised it, escalated it. Many people told me I probably should. But it wasn't the first, and it won't be the last situation where something like that happens. And I do think it was cultural. And I don't, picking up a big fuss about it, I don't think it would have made the situation disappear any easier.
Sometimes kicking up a big fuss, especially if it's not meant to be, argumentative or aggressive or derogatory, because you say possibly a culture thing, kicking up such a big fuss can be detrimental and counterproductive.
When I confronted him and I said to him, and I know you said don't speak to me, he's like, oh, I weren't even saying it that way. Don't make a big deal. And I was like, well, don't do it. So it's out of order. Don't do it, didn't it? And that's why I dropped it. And I suppose every one of these stories, they're massive oopses. Like, none of them were intentional oopses.
We need to think about the environment we're in
and who we're talking to.
Yes.
Yeah, was that really good? I mean, on a call where it's all blokes, should you say that about one of the girls? Because
Yeah.
I like banter. Everyone who knows me, I am massive for banter. I can give it as good as I get it any single day of the week.
Oh yes, we
Which
know
is
that.
probably part of the problem. But yeah, be a bit more careful. And like, I have to be more careful too. I am just as bad at it. And sometimes we just say things and it's a bit, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. Just put your hands up.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, shouldn't have done that. We're working in a massively diverse environment with people, some people who have thicker skin than others.
Yes.
Just, sometimes you upset people when you don't mean to. I've done that.
We've
But
all been there, done that. So
yeah, and that's it. And it, you know what, I've mentored like other girls going through some things, and sometimes my answer has to be, you do need to grow a little bit of a thicker skin,
got it.
because people aren't being out of order, they aren't being horrible, but also in our industry, you have to sort of, you have to be able to have a bit of banter and have a laugh, because there's a high stress industry and everyone's taking the mick and doing what they want to do, and
It's very true. Yeah.
It's one of them things, I suppose. So that's why I chose those 3 stories. I hope there was
I,
like a
I think
nice
they're
mix
really
there.
good. I think it's really good, and it's not just from your perspective. We in general, and if we look at the world over the last 6-12 months or so, and we see how
Yeah.
we need to treat others, and it's very important. Think what you're saying, think who you're saying it to, work out if it's appropriate for the environment, and not just go through those, but
Yep.
think about how you would receive it if somebody said it to you. Put yourself in their shoes.
Well, I think this is a thing, and also the choice in what the environment it happens, right?
Yes.
Sometimes, maliciously or not, an environment and a situation will happen. Someone can say something with intent, but it's a choice whether to take it. You can't cause someone offense. You can only take offense. So when someone says something to you, whether they intended to or not, it's your choice whether to take it in an offensive manner.
Yep.
And there are definitely, like I said in my 3rd story, say, no, that was wrong. That was out of order. Don't be that person. Don't do that. But also a lot of the time, do you know what? Just bat it off, because it wasn't meant maliciously, and it might have been a conversation you have over a coffee later that actually didn't really weren't a fan of that. Half the time, if you don't laugh or react and you just give them a dirty look and walk away, they know that they don't do it again. And that's
true.
all that it needs. And it means everyone sort of learns the same thing without, everyone getting a little bit too sort of on eggshells with each other. And it's just sometimes we all handle things different, and we all take offense differently. What something that I would shrug off or laugh at, someone else might take really personally because of a personal situation.
Definitely. It's very, very important. So thank you for sharing those with us. Really great stories. Now, my next question to you is, who would you want to nominate to appear on the show that you could hear their Roots Factor story?
Afshan Ibsen. Yes.
No problem. I will reach out to her.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
She's got some stories that I've had to fix. So I'm going to make her say them.
We won't talk any further about that. I will quit that chat. Brilliant. Kaila, once again, thank you for coming on the show. Viewers, we hope that you've really enjoyed this even as much as I have for this particular episode. Feel free to check out the rest of the Oops Factor playlist, subscribe to the channel, check out the vlog, and have a great day.